children, how are you? I hope you are revising at home for your exam, isn't it? Good. Okay. Before we are going into the video, can you do me one favor? Nothing but just, okay, those who are watching this channel, just drop your name in the comment box so that we can know that how many of you are viewing this channel. Okay, good. Now let's go into the video. Now today I am going to explain you how to revise Unit 1. As you know, Unit 1, it has a prose, a poem and a supplementary reader, isn't it? What's the title of the prose? It's First Flight. It was written by Liam Flaherty, isn't it? So you know the story of the prose. What's the story? It's the story of a young seagull who was afraid to make its first flight, but finally by the effort of its mother, it finally made the flight, isn't it? Okay, now let's come to the question answers. There are totally 17 questions in this prose. In text questions 10 and book back question answers 7. So totally 17 2 marks are there. Don't omit any questions. Study all the questions. All the questions are important. Okay, we cannot decide what is important, what is not important. So all the questions are important. Study. And then regarding paragraphs, there are 2 paragraph questions in this prose. And the first paragraph question you have to study from your guide. For second paragraph question, you have to give your own answer. So don't worry. Just read the question and prepare the answer according to that. Okay. And the book back, study the meanings given for the words. Okay, it is important. From that synonyms will appear, so just go through it in a thorough manner. Okay, next regarding composition exercises, we have advertisement and report writing, and regarding grammar we have active voice, passive voice, isn't it? I have explained about this in detail in my next video. So after uploading this video, that will also be uploaded. You just watch that video so that you can get an idea. Okay, now are you now thorough with prose? Now we are going for the poem. What's the name of the poem? Life. It is a memory poem, isn't it? So it's a poem of only 14 lines. What's the form of this poem? It's a sonnet. What is sonnet? A sonnet is a poem of 14 lines, isn't it? That's it. This 14 lines is further divided into 2, 8 lines and 6 lines. Okay. The first stanza is with 8 lines and it is called as octave, and the second stanza is with 6 lines and it is called as sestet. Okay. Now are you clear about this? Okay, so study that. Okay, now let us see what's a figure of speech. Okay, in question paper they can ask us figure of speech or literary device or poetic device. All the 3 are same. Don't confuse. All the 3 are same. Okay, now let's see what's the rhyme scheme for the first stanza. First stanza, it consists of how many lines? 8 lines. So divide it into 4 4. So for the first 4 lines the rhyme scheme is A B B A. For the next 4 lines the rhyme scheme is A B B A. So for easy remembrance you can keep in mind as Abba Abba. Is it easy, isn't it? So what it is? Abba Abba. So this is the rhyme scheme for the first stanza. Now the second stanza. How many lines are there in the second stanza? 6 lines. Divided into 2. The first 4 lines and the next 2 lines. Okay. For the first 4 lines, the rhyme scheme is C D D C, and for the last 2 lines E E. Now this is the rhyme scheme, and you know how to find out the rhyming words. How to find the rhyming words? Underline the last word in each line and pronounce and see if the same rhyming word, if you found anywhere in that poetic lines, that is the pair for that rhyming word, and you can give the rhyme scheme. Okay, so now we understand it, isn't it? So what are the other figures of speeches? We are having alliteration and then couplet. What's a couplet? Couplet is nothing but 2 successive poetic lines with the same rhyming words. For example, in this poem we have many couplets. See the second and third line: goal, soul, goal, disappear, fear, whole, toll. And then the second stanza: boy, joy, quest, best. Okay, these are all couplets. If you see in these lines, okay, the rhyming words will immediately come in the next line. So these are the couplets in this poem. The next one is personification. What is personification? Taking an inanimate object and considering it like a human and applying the qualities of a human to it, isn't it? In this poem, the first line of the second stanza, what it is? So let the way wind up the hill or down, isn't it? Here the way is personified as a human, so it is a personification. Now are you clear about it? Then read the questions given at the book back as well as read the poem line by line. There is only one paragraph in this poem, isn't it? So be thorough with that paragraph. It is an easy paragraph also. Okay, be thorough with that. And then now let's go to the supplementary reader. Supplementary, what's the topic? The Tempest. You know what's the story? Prospero and Miranda, how Prospero just created a storm with the help of Ariel, and how the inmates of the ship were tormented, and finally how the Prospero forgive all his enemies, and finally how they were reunited, isn't it? So you read the story supplementary. You should be thorough with the story from the textbook. Read it word by word and line by line, so that it is easy for you to answer all the questions asked from that portion. And regarding supplementary, they are asking the supplementary as hints developing for 8 marks. So if you are thorough with the story only, you can develop the hint. So read the story thoroughly, don't forget to do that. Okay, so keep on revising, have written practice, because now you are having enough time to do the revision. Have written practice, have a self test. For test, I will upload the question paper in our WhatsApp group. Just you can go through that and you can just have a self test. Okay, evaluate, be honest. Okay, be honest while writing the test, and then evaluate the paper on your own and just send a copy to us. Okay, so keep on revising, don't waste your time, children. Okay, all the best. We will meet you in the next video. Okay, bye. Hello children, how are you all? As I said previously, now I am going to explain you in this video about the composition exercise and grammar in unit 1. Okay, first let us see advertisement. If you want to get full marks in the advertisement, just follow these tips so that you can get full marks. Okay, first you have to write the name of the product, read the question in the question paper and find out about what you are going to advertise and mention the name of that product. Then see if any address is given in the question. If it is given, mention that address, or else just you give some contact address. Okay, and also some website address. And if for example, we can think that the advertisement is for a toy shop. Okay, so you can draw some toys, the pictures of toys, so that it will be very nice to see. And then you have to find who's your target. Who's your target? If it is a toy shop, who's your target? Kids, isn't it? So you can give some discount and offers to a target, like 50% discount for children below 10 years. Likewise, you can give. It will be more interesting, isn't it? So that the customers will come and purchase your products. And then the background should not be very messy. You should not scribble here and there. It should be very neat to look. And readable text. Okay, I know you are good in writing in different fonts, but your text should be readable. Okay, so make it clear. You will write it in a very clear manner. Then you can give some catchy descriptions, very short and catchy descriptions. And also finally you have to use borders and lines to separate the name of the product, to separate the discounts, to separate the address. Okay, so if you follow all the steps, surely you can get full marks in the advertisement. Next is report writing. For report writing, just follow the points I have given here. First you have to mention about what you are going to write the report, that is the title of the report. Then for example, if it is like school annual day, have to write annual sports meet. Then report writer's name. Then you have to write the name of the event. Then you have to explain the day and time when the event was conducted and the venue, at what place it was conducted. Then the purpose, for what reason you have conducted that event, and then who's the chief guest for that event and how you welcomed him, the details you just give it. And then the details of the event, like what are the programs conducted. As I said, if it is a sports meet, automatically we might have conducted march fast, okay, some relay, athletics, like with so many games you might have conducted, isn't it? That details you have to mention. And always keep it in mind, you have to use only past tense, because report you are going to give about an event that had already taken place. So you have to use only past tense. Don't exaggerate the event, right, as it is. And your sentence should be very simple and it should be brief. Okay, if you write like this, surely you can get good marks. Okay, next we are going to see the grammar. Voice. Okay, active voice and passive voice. In class itself I have explained you clearly. Here I'm just going to again recall what we have revised. Okay, to change a sentence from active voice to passive voice, first separate the sentence into subject. Okay, what's a subject? It answers the question who. Then verb. What's a verb? Action word. And then object. What's an object? It answers the question what and to whom. For example, Ram writes a letter. In this question, okay, it just asks the question who writes a letter? Ram, isn't it? So Ram is the subject. What is Ram doing? Ram is writing. So here write is the action word. So write is the verb. And what does Ram write? Ram writes a letter, isn't it? So letter is an object. So to change into passive voice, first you have to bring the object of the active voice as the subject of the passive voice. Okay, then you have to change the form of the tense as follows. I have given in the tabular column clearly how you have to change it. Okay, so just go through this tabular column and you will get an idea. Okay, are you seeing the tabular column? Just go through this. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Okay, next, okay, after changing the tense, add the preposition by, then bring the subject of the active voice as the object of the passive voice. I have given here the example. Ram writes a letter. See, here Ram is the subject, writes is the verb, a letter is the object, and this sentence is an active voice. Now we are going to change it into passive voice. See, as I said, the object of the active voice will become the subject of the passive voice, isn't it? See, a letter is the object of the active voice. Now it is becoming the subject of the passive voice. Then we have to change the verb. See, the verb is writes. Writes is simple present tense, and when we change see the passive voice, the subject is a letter. A letter means it indicates singular, so we are using is, and then the past participle of write is written. Then as I said, we have written the preposition by. Then we are bringing the subject of the active voice as the object of the passive voice. Are you clear? Okay, now see the next one. Suppose if the sentence given and the active voice is a request, you have to begin the passive voice using you are requested. Suppose if the sentence is negative, use not after requested, that is you are requested not to. For example, if they have given please don't pluck the flowers, your answer should be you are requested not to pluck the flowers. Okay, next, suppose if the active voice is a commanding sentence, okay, you have to begin the passive voice using you are instructed or you are ordered. Suppose if it is an advice, you have to begin using you are advised. Okay, then if the active voice begins with somebody, you can omit it in the passive voice. For example, somebody stole my purse. While you are changing into passive voice, my purse was stolen. That's a no need to write by somebody. You can omit it. Okay, next, questions beginning with auxiliary verb. You know what is an auxiliary verb? Auxiliary verbs are nothing but the helping verbs like be form verbs, do form verbs, have form verbs, and the questions beginning with modal auxiliaries. Okay, for example, did you finish the work? If you look at this, you may feel it is somewhat complicated, but in class I have taught you the easy method, isn't it? What is that? First, change the sentence into an statement. Okay, it's an interrogative sentence. Change it into a statement. For that, you just bring the verb inside. Here, did is the helping verb and finish is the main verb. So did plus finish. As I said, did is the past tense. So the past form of finish is finish. So if you change it as a normal statement, it will be like you finished the work. Now change it into passive voice. What's the passive voice for this? The work was finished by you. But here the given sentence is an interrogative sentence, isn't it? So we have to give the answer also as an interrogative sentence. So nothing to do, just bring the helping verb in the passive voice. What's the helping verb in the passive voice? Was. Okay, bring that into the as the first word. So if you bring it, how the sentence will be? Was the work finished by you? That's it. Put a question mark. That's it. You got the answer, isn't it? It is easy, isn't it? So keep practicing this using the sentences given in your book. Okay, the next one is WH questions. You know what are the WH questions? The questions like what, when, where, why, how, these and all will come under WH questions, isn't it? So first, you know what's the form of a WH question. The WH question, first it should have a WH word, then a helping verb, then the subject, and finally the main verb. For example, see, why did you scold him? Here why is the WH word, did is the helping verb, you is the subject, scold is the main verb, isn't it? Now we have to change it into the passive voice. So first write the WH word as such in the form. Now we have to change the write the helping verb, isn't it? Now change the sentence. Did is what? Past tense, isn't it? So did plus scold, scolded. So scolded, past tense. So what's the singular form of past tense? Was. So now was is the helping verb. So write was after the WH word. So why was. Now bring the subject. So as I said, in passive voice, the object of the active voice is the subject of the passive voice, isn't it? Now the object of the passive voice is him, isn't it? So When it comes at the front, it will become as he, isn't it? When it comes in the subject place, it will become as he. So he is the subject. Now add the main verb. What's the main verb? Scolded. Then add the preposition by, then bring the subject as you. So now what's the answer? Why was he scolded by you? This is the answer. Now are you clear about this? Okay, I hope you understand this. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Okay children, keep on revising. Keep revising these grammar exercises using the sentences given in the book as well as in your workbooks. Okay, all the best. Bye children. I will meet you